Well, here's where we're starting this video off. Getting the diesel tank full. There's still a little bit of waste oil in it. We are in Illinois, unfortunately. I do not like Illinois. We just went through one of the cities. It's so disgusting here. This state is just, people love to live in their own filth. So we're gonna get fuel here. We got about 38 minutes to go, but we'll get that tank full and keep on chugging. I do like the diesel is only $5.42 here, so I'm gonna hopefully it's even cheaper in Wisconsin. I'm gonna fill everything when I get up there. Took out what was left. That's what we're up to, and we have 38 miles to go. Unfortunately, this transmission needs to be beat on in order to not overheat. Now, right now, it's not gonna overheat in 37-degree weather, but like yesterday, I was getting shit fuel mileage because the only way to keep the transmission happy was to put it under an extreme load, especially at high RPM. So if you're under 63 mile an hour, I have to turn the overdrive off and just let it eat, and it'll stay happy. And then once you hit 64 and up, you can turn tow haul mode back on and it's happy. But yeah, I haven't had any issues since it's been this cold. So I found diesel for $5.28, which is like the cheapest I could possibly get it for, minus whatever the discount is. So I'm just gonna fill the entire thing knowing we're only 9 minutes away, and then I'm gonna cat scale it so that you guys know what this load weighs. You know, I talk a lot of shit on the semi guys, most of the entitlement that goes on TikTok, but like, dude, that is ridiculous looking. I like that. And the blue, to think I'm hauling almost the same thing this guy's hauling, but he's got triple axles all the way around. Hopefully that load pays good. That is a nice truck. So yeah, we were supposed to be able to drop 24/7. They kind of screwed me on that, so sorry, the boy. It's Monday morning now. I guess it is what it is. It's not like I can just teleport back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop off here. I gotta wait for this guy so that I can make the right-hand turn. See, I could not imagine doing freight full-time. This is why I liked power only. So I got here. My BOL literally says I need to be here at 8 a.m. on 11/14, right? And the broker was like, oh yeah, or someone said before we could, you know, we could drop 24/7, whatever. So I was gonna drop at like 2 in the morning on freaking Sunday. And that did not happen. And I get here, nobody answers the phone, nothing. We can't get a hold of anybody, but they answered on Saturday and said, we'll call you back. And then we've never gotten anything since then. Just one of the many reasons why I personally, trucking is not for me. If you're trying to always rush and get things done, trucking is not the industry for that individual, because there's a lot of wasted time in the trucking market. Like, there is only 24 hours in a day, and they try to tell you you can only work 14. Like, I want to be able to work 20 hours a day and build this shit faster. I don't like this. But that dude's truck was sick though, for real. And then Pilot sent me, that's the BOL. I kind of flashed it really quick, but yeah, it's kind of ruined. So thanks, Pilot's printer's down. So they gave it to me for free, but at what cost? Looks like they're getting them unloaded. Ooh, they're getting it. All right, so he said he'll come get me when he's ready, I guess. I put, I'm gonna start using 4 low a lot more, because like this load is just big, and if I can keep transmission happy by putting it in 4 low, like there's no effort. There's no effort pulling this friggin' load, 20,000 pound trailer. It just pulls it perfectly in 4 low, so I'm just gonna start using it more. I mean, if I have it, I might as well use it. I noticed like every time I try to put it in 4 low, if I wanna put it in slowly or I wanna put it in fast, it always grinds. Is there a trick to getting it in 4 low? I've always had it in neutral when I put it in low, but like, what's your guys' tricks on that to make it not grind, or do you guys just like slam it in? That's cool as shit. All remote. That is way cool. There it goes. Yeah, you got it. That thing's a beast. we are dropped. Everything's restrapped. Knocked my wood down and shit. That board was frozen. We're just waiting on the BOL to come back. We got another one going back home, and then he said he wanted to find a partial, but I was hoping to grab those 2 generators for 2,800 bucks. We're at next pickup. They are gonna bring it out to me. I think this one's like 4,000 pounds, and then we got a generator to go on the front. So he said we gotta use the dunnage. So we'll see how that goes. Park into the docks there. So we'll have to use that dunnage, and I guess it needs tarped, so that'll be fun. This thing weighs like 1,000 pounds. That's my load. So we're just waiting on the other generator. We'll get that loaded up. I need to learn these things, figure out how to make these not go anywhere, but it'll be for another time. Like I said, we'll throw the generator on the back. That should offset some of the weight. Not that we have much weight anyway. Not sure what this is from. Oh, that's not good. All right, so give you guys an update on the Timbrins. There they are, doing exactly what they need to do. Have we bent a frame yet? Doesn't look like it. I think we're good. We are still using the forbidden black diesel. It's black. Look at that black. So I made sure to park here specifically because it says only truck parking, which I am in a truck. So we're gonna check our shit. I don't think it's budged. That strap's ripped. That one's tight. That one's tight. Cool. So no issues thus far. Gotta get a picture yet. See how these Timbrins are doing. They're doing fantastic. And we've been using the aux tank. Everything is good. All this stuff, I'm gonna throw this back in there tomorrow when I get back to the yard. And then I gotta drop this off sometime this week. I'm not in a super big hurry. It's going to Baltimore. Looking like this trailer's having some issues. See if there's anything obvious. Which it looks like there might be. Who knows? I'm just trying to get it home, and then that'll be it. Bruh, I'm not gonna make it super obvious, but that dude is straight up taking a piss right there behind his freak. Like, come on, man. No shame in front of everybody. All right, so since day one I bought this thing, it has had problems with rail pressure. So we're sitting here, we're about 2 hours from home, and it's had problems with rail pressure, right? And even with the rail pressure problems, I was still able to hold 70 miles an hour with that 20,000 pound load. Like, no problem. Like, this truck just does it. But it started to get progressively worse on the trip. So I'm gonna have to do some diagnostics. I don't have many tools. We're sitting on the side of the road at one of the emergency stops. I cannot get this thing to go over like 5 or 10 miles an hour. If you give it a little bit of throttle, any throttle that's worth accelerating, it will just start to bog like the 12 valve did when a filter was clogged. So I don't know. We have a couple things to check. One, I want to check the injector tubes that go into the side of the injectors. I need to make sure those are torqued down. I have a rail plug that I'm going to be putting in. I have a new FCA that I'm going to be putting in just for peace of mind. I already have them. And I need to check the fuel filter again. So those are the 4 things I'm going to check before we just start assuming a CP3 went out or a fuel pump went out. But that's where we're at right now. So we are on the side of the road. And that dude backing up. Don't you do it. Watch him hit me. Bruh, dude literally straight came back like a bunch of feet. Holy shit. You guys saw, I had that shit on camera and everything. Goodness gracious. Oh man, you guys saw that. I'm like, am I getting a new truck today? I just had to be filming at that second. But yeah, so we're... Yeah, this kind of sucks. So while he moved up, what I'm going to do... So the truck starts up and runs and everything, right? So what I'm going to do... I'm going to put it in first. Let my e-brake off. See, it will run and accelerate. but like that's fine. Once I try to get it to go any faster, it starts to bog and it just gets obnoxious. So after clearing the code, I listened to the suggestions there, and now I can actually accelerate. The rail pressure is still low. The only thing that makes sense to me, there's two things. One, either sitting for a while, if there's anything in the fuel bowl or on the bottom of the tank, maybe the contaminants kind of got out of the way after it sat for a while. Or when I cleared the code, because maybe it was trying to compensate, because what happened was it was reading that the rail pressure was too high, even though there was a fuel delivery code as well. I'm wondering if it reading too high, it tried to try to compensate and like pull rail pressure. So the check engine light did come back on, but I'm wondering if that is, I'm hoping that's not the reading too high code, because if it is, and we start losing power again, now we know. The trailer is dropped. That was a lot of work. Oh, goodness. Every time I open my tailgate, I hear a bolt somewhere. So we'll drop this sometime this week. I need to get the truck fixed. I don't know what's going on with it. We'll figure it out. I'm gonna get some parts on order. Like I said, with this truck, we are only buying quality parts. So we need a front main. We're gonna get one with a wear sleeve and all the other parts we need. I'm gonna start running AMSOIL fluid. I'm gonna go drop Liam off at school quick and then take a nap. I know, Liam. And then we'll work on this thing. So every time I accelerate, I'll show you guys. And if I let off, I don't know if you guys can hear that. It continued, this asshole in front of me decided to cut me off. But like, if I get on it hard, I'll put it in neutral. Oh, earlier it did it more, but it's like free revving itself, like up, and then it'll bounce down. So that sounds like a sign of leaky injectors now at this point. I'm wondering if running it that low on rail pressure for the longest time, maybe we ruined a set of injectors as well. So I'll have to kind of show you here. Wonder if I can. I'm gonna get it up here and then I'm gonna throw it in neutral. See that? It revs itself back up. It's been worse, so I don't know. Maybe I get lucky and it just needs some tips. I definitely don't want to throw injectors in the truck yet. Like I said, we're gonna try to do everything quality, but this truck hasn't made me enough money to justify putting injectors in it yet. So if we do have some bad tips that are leaking, I'll check that out and we'll throw some new tips on the injectors in the meantime, and then later on down the road I'll definitely get new injectors, but I'm not gonna spend a shitload of money on injectors right now on a truck that I just paid way too much for. All right, let's do this test for real now. So I'm gonna get on it pretty hard. I'm gonna let it in neutral. Mind you, my foot was not on the throttle at all. That's a scary sound. Also, with the fuel issue, it makes the transmission act weird, because if you let off, it'll give you more RPMs. If you give it more throttle, it'll bog it down. So it's kind of obnoxious. We do need to get this figured out and fixed as soon as possible. All right, so we're headed out now to go fix the truck. I slept for a few hours and I got a new FCA and rail plug. I ordered them last week, so they're finally here today. And then also the bulbs, I'm gonna throw those in real quick. We gotta go to the shop, which is closed, which is gonna be super cold. So that's gonna suck, but yeah, it's 32 degrees and snowing. All right, so let's go over the facts, the things that we physically know at this point. The truck gets better when you shut it off and turn it back on after a while. Like if it's sitting off for a while, it gets better. So it did have nothing to do with clearing the code. Oh, wow. Wow, that sucks. I can't, there's a lot of snow. So with what I was saying, the truck physically gets better after you shut it off. So I'm wondering if it's not something in the tank, in the fuel pump, Like something could be getting into the screen, you shut it off, everything kind of goes around its own way, you turn it back on, you drive it for about 20-30 minutes, and then all that stuff kind of clogs back in it. That's what I'm thinking. I'm also going to go through and check. We have a new FCA because that's a common problem on these things. It could also be that the FCA's, when the FCA gets hot and warms up, then it gives you issues as well. We have the rail plug. I'm going to show you guys all what I got. We're going to do that stuff tonight. All right, this thing's a little dirty in here, so we're going to get this thing cleaned out as well at some point. Oh, man. I hate doing road trips last minute and being so disorganized. I feel like a slob, and I am usually not like that. So here's what we got, right? I went and got one of these. I put these in all of my common rails. It's just a plug. It gets rid of the factory pressure relief valve, and I also have an FCA here. So these are the brackets for the light bar. We'll probably do these at some point, but for now, I think that goes on. I'm not sure which side's which, but oh, we also got the bulbs for the dash, so I want to put them in as well. So let's just start replacing this stuff. Now, the reason I had to come to the shop to do this, one, it's snowing, but two, I could have done this way earlier, but I don't have the Torx bits. And if you come in my box over here, which someone might have been in because I don't remember leaving it like this, but fuck it. All my Torx stuff's right here. All right, so you can see there's the FCA right there, that little guy, and then there's the rail plug. So we're gonna replace both of them. BOFA, but we'll do this one first. I pulled it out and it started screaming at me. Hear it? Here's the old one. Let's do a quick little comparison. Old versus new. I mean, it looks all right, but yeah, a couple little pieces of debris. So we'll slap this one back in. Make sure if you're going to do this, you take a pick and you clean out the heads of each one of these bolts before you strip them out. I just used a little pick there. I like setting everything on the battery because it gives a lot of you guys anxiety. I only do this on my truck. I don't do that on customer stuff. That guy was in there. So this is a rail pressure plug. And what this does is this is a one-time use steel. These are a factory part. And they, if you ever have a fuel pressure spike, what these do is they will pop off, but they, you know, saving everything, but they will never return back to normal. So once these, if you ever have a fuel pressure spike, you have to replace these every single time. So on every common rail I've ever had on a 5.9, I replaced them with a rail plug. Now, I know guys, a lot of guys will say, don't do it. It's bad. It's scary. I have personally never had an issue with these. I ran one of these on my 04 when I was running the 175 horsepower tune, towing cross country, manual transmission, never using the clutch. This has never caused me any issues. So you can see that's solid down in there, whereas this kind of has, let's see if I can, this kind of has a valve in there and shit. We're going to pop this bad boy in. And these are two things I would have replaced on the truck regardless of if there's an issue. The FCA I'm replacing because, just to be sure, because they're cheap enough, I don't care. This, I get one of these for every one of my common rails. I think this is BD. Well, actually, this is an off-brand BD, but they're all the same. This was like $17. So pop this bad boy in. Looks like somebody was in here before because there's a copper washer. I'm going to replace both of them with what the kit came with. So we'll get that cleaned up. You can see right in there. That's where that sits. So we'll get that taken care of. Yeah, hopefully it makes everything run better. All right. Rail pressure plug is in. Now I'm going to check the rail pressure and see what it is. I'll also try to clean this thing out if I can. All right, we have working lights. I didn't put any crazy LEDs in it at all, but this is a common Dodge problem, these damn bulbs. I got 3 more if anybody needs them. Bring your trucks in, whatnot. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to pull this out, check rail pressure and shit. And, oh, I do need to check. I'm going to check the injector tubes as well real quick, just to see. I love the squeaky Cummins belt. No leaks. That almost sounds like it runs better. I don't hear a misfire like I did before. So rail pressure is no longer jumping around. I know you guys can't see it as much. It's fluctuating about 100 psi. That's awesome. I'm gonna pull it out. We'll see how it drives tonight. I gotta pull Dan's truck in. All right, you guys remember this thing? You can see how much snow we've gotten already. It's a good 2 inches right there. So, we just got the PCM back. Both PCMs actually tested bad and unrepairable is what they were saying. So, my dad kind of plugged it in. He didn't mount it or anything. He just plugged it in for me to see if we could get the gauges to work. And after all this, it still doesn't work. So, a lot of people mentioned could be batteries and a bunch of other things. I'm going to get it all hard mounted up now that we know. That's the PCM he ordered? Huh. I'm going to get it all mounted up and go from there and see if I can connect to this PCM with the box. The first PCM, everything was an electrical nightmare. Like nothing worked. We plugged the second PCM, everything works, but there's no communication to the PCM. So that was issue number 2. So that's why the second PCM, they said was not repairable. So now we're on the third PCM, which looks to be a used unit. I'm hoping that it's paired to this truck and not just a random PCM that we threw in it. So I'm going to go try to scan it. I'm going to get it mounted, scanned, and we'll see. So funny enough, I understand. I like you guys. I'm not calling anybody out here. But it was 100% the PCM. I tested 2 of them. They both failed. I plugged everything in. Look at that. Gauges. We have gauges. So, next time somebody tells me, I doubt it's a PCM. These trucks have PCM problems. Even my 04 had a PCM problem. My AC did not work. It's a PCM problem. My alternator stopped working. It was a PCM problem. So that's why I ended up doing everything mechanically. But yeah, this PCM was tuned to this. But we're going to call it here. Tomorrow I'm going to come in, make sure that all of the sensors and everything work, and then we're going to get this thing sent out the door. I'll let you guys know how the test drive on my truck goes in the next video. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. If you guys want good fuel savings, go check out Mudflap, link in the description. There's a bunch of other links in the description as well. If you guys want to go check any of that out, Amazon affiliate links, TikTok. My shit has been blowing up on TikTok. And I'll tell you what, that site is pure chaos. There is so much chaos over there. I got like 1.5 million views overnight. And now anytime I post something, it's getting 500,000 views like instantly. So a lot of toxic over there. So if you guys want to go check it out, I'm just going to be trolling over there rather than posting serious stuff. And just letting the comments do what the comments do. So, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Safe travels.